Stop making the damn thing!
With a night song at our side, we will crush Ketheric quickly. I'm impressed. Shadowheart chose rightly and courageously.
The Lady of Loss has abandoned you. Whatever boon found here is no longer for you, surely. Yet what harm in reading on?
Show wisdom through understanding of how you have angered Lady Shar, that it cannot be undone.
The strength of your conviction seems to confuse the statue. Incredibly, you are deemed worthy.
A recent game patch has actually put text in this important book for the Absolute. Now come we in reverence before the Absolute and her true souls, rejoicing in the three glories of belonging and reveling in the requital, for deeds duly done in the Absolute's day. Glory the first is our purpose, filling us with determination to bring to all mortals the joy of reverence of the Absolute. Glory the second is our obedience, the bliss of knowing that we exalt ourselves when we surrender our wills to the Absolute's commands. Glory the third is our dominion, for obedience to the Absolute places us above other mortals, and it is righteous to command them. And when through our obedience we have achieved dominion, the Absolute grants us permission for requital, revelry without restraint, to express our joy and pride in the Absolute's service. With Ketheric, you can disarm him using regular combat maneuvers, or even use the Undead Ring. It does 1d10 bludgeoning damage like a regular Warhammer, and plus 1d4 psychic. It has no special weapon actions. You peer down the hole left by the tentacle that drew Ketheric into the darkness. Will you leap after him? Our 10-man army is going to chase after him, but for the boss battle, we'll lower it down to 4.
The hole yawns back at you, impossibly wide. A single tentacle burrowed through stone.
This must be where they harvest the tadpoles. We're close to the source of the infections.
I wager that devil I meant to rescue somewhere near.
Your father too, if our fortunes are so kind.
This place brings back the worst memories. It's like being kidnapped all over again.
If you feel you are being watched, take comfort. That is only because you are. The colony knows we are here. Already I can hear the whispers.
What whispers? Are you well?
Just sweet nothings for now. It tests me. Wants to know why I do not carry a tadpole. As you do. A colony is a sentience, comprised of the collective. For anything outside of that collective, assimilation or annihilation. If it tries to dominate me, turn me against you, well, I have seen you fight. I'm sure you'll be fine.
When Will said the devil, I had forgotten that he was tasked to find somebody. I thought the devil meant his dad. There's going to be a lot of dialogue. It's not because of all the party. It would actually overlap each other anyways. First, we're going to initiate this dream visitor dialogue. We'll take a few slow steps.
Tread carefully. We are very close to the source of the Absolute now. That telepathic storm has become a tempest.
Then Gale and Karlak will start speaking, once they also pass through that area.
Keep a blade close.
Or at least they're supposed to.
It strikes me that for a mind flayer colony, there are remarkably few mind flayers about the place.
Squiddies have gone to war, is my guess.
the Absolute's behalf? There's an alliance I'm quite happy without.
Then at this intersection, another bit of dialogue.
Of all the beastly lairs I've had to poke my nose into, an illicit colony is still by far the worst.
Be thankful you don't carry one of their worms inside your skull.
The little brains aren't attacking. Ugh, they must think we're all on the same side.
This is an Arcana check. Pretty high DC. If you pass it, you realize that you can read illithid writing because of your tadpole. If you fail, you just wonder.
Mind Flayer script.
I shouldn't be able to understand it, and yet I do.
Kudos to the tadpole, I suppose.
We're gonna go continue to murderize these little brain guys.
We must be ready to confront the Elder Brain. One presides over every Ghaik colony.
No problem. And what does this old brain look like?
A hovering mass of grey matter, sprouted with lethal tentacles and oozing cerebrospinal fluid.
Right. Good. Glad I asked.
Alright, this place is not actually as confusing as it might seem. It's really kind of a circle. This part is mandatory to go through. Everything else is optional.
To enthrall so many that you'd need a Nautiloid fleet. My word.
If I activate that restoration pod, whoever activates it is going to lose control out of the top slots that they have. Whatever happens, if I drop, say, a bite mark on there, it just disappears. I can't drag anything off of it. It just does not function any further. I don't know why. It may be part of the mods, or maybe just part of everybody's game at this point, but that restoration pod, don't touch it if you start experiencing something similar.
Descend.
Still, this place is supposedly dangerous, yet you have a restoration pod. Gives you all the benefits of a long rest. I understand there's some sort of difficulty called honor mode, and I think restoration pods can only be used once in honor mode. Alright, we started over here. We went straight through to the exit. If we go through this area, we fight the boss. We're going to now kind of cover the surrounding regions. This is the oubliette, which is under the prison. I guess we'll start with this one. So we'll turn right.
Assemble.
Taking a look at the map, this is what I call the Barracks. Over here is the prison, and over here is a necrotic laboratory, and over here is the butcher.
Liberate!
Some who worked here were not thralls or undead. They were loyal to Ketheric and his grim cause.
Bring death. Embrace death. Become death. You are the sacred hand that reaches from the grave. You are the lasher of skulls, the carver of crypts, the dancer of bones. Walk in dusk and shadow. Walk the path of bones in our Lord's name. This is his blessing, his consecration, and you are his scythe. Go forth and reap! General Thorm was attacked. The order to evacuate given. You should not be here. I conclude you are one of the attackers.
Finally, someone with a brain. However, this is still a misunderstanding. I was sent to support you with the eradication of these traitors.
I have no need for a throne. You would merely get in the way. Go on, make yourself useful somewhere. If you cannot manage that, just stay out of the way.
Heed the mistress. She is blessed.
May death claim you soon.
Thank you for that lovely greeting.
The end is coming. Do you feel it? You are on sanctified ground. Speak only if you must.
I must find General Thor.
He is below.
I seek your blessing.
It is not my blessing. I am merely a vessel for our Lord Merkel's will. His shadow falls across you. Go forth and reap.
These guys are actually surprisingly chill with you searching through their things, just not the chests. And there's actually not much inside the chests. Here we have more explosive barrels. We're going to pick them up. You see these first on the Illithid tutorial ship. I think they just sort of spill out oil and can then be ignited. Here's a closed mine. We got a few of these, actually. That's another thing that we found in the Illithid tutorial ship. Shadowheart, our miscellaneous quests character, or whatever you want to call it, carrying stuff that we don't know if it's going to be any use. For example, this is the garbage that Mattis sells, and I know it's intentionally meant to be garbage, but you never know if it'll unlock some dialogue option, so I carry this stuff around. Such as the Arrow of Sparrow Slaying. Well, we've got the Dark Mind from the Illithid ship, and the Slave Mind from the Illithid ship. I'll let you pause if you'd like to read these journals from these cultists. Each one of them has 1 or 2 journal books.
All that live are yours, Merkel. Let us hasten them on their journey.
Not design.
That's the head honcho's room right there. Alright, then we'll go in her room last. She's got 2 documents we'll take a look at. You're absolutely welcome to pause. I leave it up long enough so that you can hit the pause button pretty easily. And there's nothing on the next page of this.
Tadpole nursery, as on the Nautiloid. We must not leave it intact.
This place has been used to make slaves of those who should be masters.
This area is why I've been actually killing the... What is this thing called again? A Devourer or something? Intellect Devourer. Yeah, this area is actually why I've been killing them. In the area up ahead, there's going to be a battle if you wish to save some people.
Brine pools, but empty of tadpoles. Unusual. Harvesting all the larvae indicates they are getting ready for something big.
when you release the upcoming prisoners, some enemies are released with them, and then the intellect devourers in the area will go ahead and do battle with you. Specifically, it is this group. The others don't actually matter. They don't seem to get involved in the battle, even if they're very, very near your fight. This is its own. I don't know if faction is the right word. We'll say its own group. I switched Halsin to be a animal morpher. I don't know what to call it. A shapeshifter. For the moment, I'm not shifting him because he does have a couple more bits of dialogue, and I don't know if he can do that when he's shifted. Not Minthara. Jaheira is now the monk. In the original Baldur's Gate, she was a fighter druid, so I felt that this is closer to that, whereas Halsin is infamous for being a bear. We'll go ahead and have her shoot. I don't suppose you can reach this guy, can you? No. Yeah, the camera angles really need a lot of work for this area.
Still alive, so that's progress.
Here we have another book and some brine barrels. Let you pause if you'd like to read it. It talks about Ceramorphosis by Enver Gortash. If you investigate this and pass the perception check, and you can check with other characters if you fail with the first one, but if you pass the perception check here, you get a free tadpole. Let's go ahead and guidance ourselves up first. Shadowheart has lots of wisdom.
No time to waste. A brine pool. Empty, thankfully.
Unfortunately, she failed that. Let's try another character.
A parasite. Take it. It might be useful.
Now we have two parasites. Tran has eaten them all. He's maxed himself out for the time being, and I see hints of more in the distance. We'll get those later on.
That pod. Is that Mizora inside?
Mizora? You're Zariel's asset.
My dumb little stinker. Took you long enough. Now, by Grazit's cock, get me out of this thing!
I'll do it, and you'll set me free. That was the deal.
Yeah. So, get to it already.
The controls are open to your tadpole's command, to your authority.
Gather your strength and smash your foot through the pod.
You did all right, Will. I'd give your belly a good rub, but never could stand the smell.
You're free, Mizora. I held up my end. Now you hold up yours. Sever the pact.
Clause Z?
Section 13. If the Soulbinder consents to separation, she will release the Soulbearer from all obligation within 6 months.
6 months? Gods damn you!
Ignorant thing. It's always the terms and conditions that get you.
Well, do you not read anything before you sign it? You'd think we'd get a reward for going through all this trouble.
Another one? Well, after jumping through all those hoops, a little treat wouldn't hurt. All that power. And to think you want to throw it away. Now, you've got business in the towers to take care of. Don't you fret. I'll find you soon enough. You're going to need me. Count on it. Oh, and go ahead. Tell your chums how we met. It's a real cracker of a tale. Ta-ta.
Mizora gifted Will an infernal rapier for his troubles.
So many unfortunates must have been infected in this place. Imagine the horrors.
I don't need to imagine. I've got the souvenir in my skull to prove it.
Of course, thoughtless of me. My apologies. But at least you cannot be infected twice. Or at least, I hope not.
Well, I hope so. Anyways, though she required some convincing. By passing this persuasion check, we get the infernal rapier. You would get nothing otherwise. This is very similar to the Sylvan Scimitar that Jaheira used, except it's a rapier, meaning it has a better damage die. 1d8 instead of 1d6. Plus it has a +2 enchantment on top of it. And if we wanted the planar ally, Cambion. I think given Will's current setup of being a dual wielder, this is actually a very good item for him. Let's go ahead and pass this over.
Sharp as ever.
Right now he has Warlock packed of the Sword of Screams, so that he can have better accuracy because he uses charisma for this. Though, that being said, his charisma and his dexterity are very similar, so it actually doesn't matter too much there. But if you didn't put all your points in dexterity like I did, then yeah, this would be a lot better. We basically min-to-max them. I'm going to go ahead and give him that rapier, and it also uses his charisma. I can, at this point, actually dump his dexterity and give him something like more strength so that he can do the jumps and follow the party a little easier. And chat with him.
Freeing Mizora. I can only hope it is a kindness we do not come to regret.
Mizora positively drips with passive-aggressive condescension. I much prefer straightforward condescension. It leaves no chance of being misunderstood.
Zariel's asset was none other than Mizora herself. Of course. Tricks on top of tricks on top of tricks. But I've only got 6 months before I'm made a free man. Thanks be to the Triad. No, scratch that. Thanks be to you.
We're fortunate you can keep your powers until then. We're going to need them.
These infernal talents are useful, I admit. And once they're gone, I'll have to rely on my wits and my training. They'll have to do. The coast needs the blade, and I have no intention of turning my back on it.
Inside this area where many of the intellect devourers were guarding, we'll find a hall full of mind flayers.
Mind flayers and civilians, side by side. This must be where they infect and transform those they kidnap.
This one's Zevlord. He's going to be mumbling to himself the entire time we're listening to these. There's actually a very long delay between many of the touch dialogues, so I'll just be skipping ahead to make each line appear.
The device releases a stream of fragmented memories and emotions, all that remains of the pod inhabitant's former self. Your lungs burn with the dry heat of the fires raging about you. But the pain is not enough to diminish your swing. One goblin after another falls to your blade. A man's voice cries out through the thick smoke. Ravengard, you call, but the clang of swords and spell shouts of attacking drow are your only reply.
This one is Gauntlet Yeva. She's the one who has the Svartalbe's Wound Seeker that I disarmed her way back when we were at Joaquin's Rest.
Desperation, pain, terror. Cultists raided his village. He was the sole survivor. This pod pulsates with the angry memories of Ravengard's search officer, Manep Shurga. She laments her failure to locate him. Amusement, curiosity, fascination. He believed the horrors of Moonrise to be a fleeting dream that fade on waking.
Look away. Look at me.
Courage, conviction, defiance. Even as her organs began to dissolve, she believed she could resist.
Avernus. The skies.
You remember the shattered windows of Elturel's High Cathedral? The burning black sky of Avernus beyond. In its horror, the blood war unites you. Tiefling, dwarf, and elf alike huddle behind the shields of your paladin order, waiting for salvation. But when it comes, disunity. The returned city casts your people out, the devils who dragged them down to hell. In the end, it is not your paladin oath that is broken. It is your faith itself. Delirium, mania, laughter. His mind broke before the end, and he was laughing uncontrollably as the skin fell from his face.
This device will either kill everybody or release everybody. Starion, Minthara, and Lae'zel will not appreciate you letting people go. I mean, I don't really know why Minthara is against it. You would think that she'd be all for it given her personal situation, but alright.
Down your weapons. Please.
Your tadpole forms a telepathic connection with the device, and a chorus of static energy fills your mind. Every mind flayer in the room calls out hungrily from its pod, seeking release and sustenance. But there are others in the pods, those not yet infected, not yet elithid, terrified, desperate to escape. The device is open to your tadpole's command, to your authority.
Release.
By having these three far enough away, you don't lose any approval from them. The Mind Flayers, when you attack them, they have a good chance of hitting you with a charm spell, meaning you won't be able to attack that specific enemy anymore. And he was not able to react because we knocked him down with our critical hit. Hold off on the ranged units for a moment. Go ahead and finish this one off though. You tell me you really can't reach that one? What about mobile? No, let's not use it right now. We do have a big fight coming up, and I haven't quite decided who's going to be there. I'm gonna think Will is going to be a part of that, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll hold off on that so it doesn't knock anybody down. Minthara. Start chopping. I could actually give her a better weapon right now. Her halberd is just +2 strength, but if she drinks a potion of strength, it doesn't actually matter what it was. She can still attack other mind flayers, just not the one that she was working on. Though I don't know what happens when you've been charmed by 2 different ones. I assume it just overwrites the last one. You can go back to attacking the first. Hold off on Gale. I have trouble selecting him. It's because of the roofing. We're down to one mind flayer.
Hells. I didn't think I was going to make it. Thank you. I owe you an explanation. Much more than that. But first, please, the others, the ambush. Tell me they survived.
Heading to a moonrise tower was an incredibly stupid plan. Some survived, others ended up in a cell in this very place. That's on you.
Somehow I suspect it's worse even than you imagine. Likely you heard that I broke, or froze, or some other lie kinder than the truth. We were ambushed by cultists, yes. And then I heard her, their false god, whispering promises in my mind. I would be a paladin again, with a god's purpose, a god's power. Everything I needed to protect my people. And all the while, the cult tortured them. They fought and ran and died around me, while I imagined myself their savior. By the time I regained my senses, it was too late. I did not just surrender to the Absolute. For a moment, I welcomed it.
Sounds like you were being enthralled. That and that alone is not your fault.
It would be nice to think so, but whatever these monsters twist us into, I believe it begins in us. I won't make excuses. I can't make amends. But I know something of what you came to do. I want to help, if you'll let me. Ketheric is below. He thinks you're no longer a menace. Descend and show him how wrong he is. If there are any more survivors to be found, I'll find them and lead them out of this place.
Find your own people. They need you.
They have you. Go, my friend. Please, let me do this much. Hells. I didn't think I was going to make it. Thank you. The Blade of Frontiers. The savior I needed, if not the one I deserved. Finish what you came here to do. I dare say you've done enough for me.
Oh, stench. I'm beginning to think I should have stayed in that pod. In there it only smelled like me. Is there any news about Duke Ravengard? Did he get out alive? No. Tell by your expression. Gonna have to fall on my sword, aren't I? On the other hand, maybe I'll just live for revenge. Yeah, by Grumsh. That sounds like a plan.
You should join us.
I don't know how to thank you. I thought I was done for. This is a bleeding shit show. Half my squad's dead, the other half's sporting tentacles. We came here to rescue Duke Ravengard. But we didn't stand a chance.
I'll take it from here.
You've got more courage than sense if you're planning to go deeper. But someone needs to. The cultists took Ravengard when they locked us up. He was still human last I saw him. Still trying to put up a fight.
This will lead to the main hallway that we branched off from. We're actually going to head back and slaughter these people that are hanging out in the barrack. I wasn't going to worry about killing these guys on camera, but now I wonder if I let them go, will they impede Zevlor and the others? Like if we move on and Zevlor is nowhere to be found because I happen to leave these guys alive. So we're actually going to slaughter everybody. Fortunately, he doesn't get his second attack for his being a level 5 fighter. Is that what he is? I think he's maybe a 5 ranger. That happens when I have him start off a battle. Next one. We have her. Like, that was only... Oh, there's the second one. Okay. I was thinking that... Oh yeah, that's right. Astarion did finish killing his target. I was thinking this was Astarion's wounded target. No, that's not the case.
A steady hand is needed.
Unfortunately, you still can't select by mouse, but you can select by hotkeys the next person.
Not even the worms will want your carcass once I'm done with you.
She took a little bit of damage because of the Armor of Agathis equivalent, the Blessing of Merkel. She doesn't have Blessing of Merkel, so it's actually okay to stab her. Wrong one. I meant to use the main hand attack. Repelling blast will make them face me as they get knocked backwards. Okay, approach everybody. There's not really any consequential loot on their corpses. We got more Mercolite Scourge. Many of them will have another flail, a skull flail, which is not really magical and just has tenacity. Plus 3 bludgeoning. That's only because of my strength bonus, I would assume. Yeah, I've got a 3 strength bonus. So it's just a regular flail. But with this, Zevlor's party will be a little safer. This is where we freed Mizora. This is where we freed Zevlor. This is the barracks. This is the go-ahead chamber where you descend further into the colony. Now we just need to hit these two. Let's see here. That is the main chamber, so this is the exit.
The city calls out.
There's the chamber that leads ahead.
The chosen are my heart, and you my many hands.
Let me think here. Okay, I haven't actually tried this, so we're going to make a save and see if it works out the way I think it does. Otherwise, if it turns out just to prolong the battle, I won't show it. What we're going to do is we're actually going to try to lure the enemy in. There's a bunch of... we'll say a good 12 or so zombies inside.
Obey.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have Halsin try to lure them in.
Such an undignified position to find oneself in.
If he gets spotted, that's fine. And then their entire point is to get these zombies moving towards me.
Obey. Evacuate.
Whoops, I clicked that just as they were panning to do their movements.
Never wanted the easy path.
We have a scroll of Ivard's black tentacles. We're going to go and lay that down as well. Come on, I'm clicking. Okay. And just back this character up. I've loaded him up on some concentration abilities like spike growth and such, and then he could morph into a saber-toothed tiger. The idea is that they'll spend their time running up to me and then just dying in that hallway. I'm not sure if that's going to work out. That's why I saved beforehand. And if you're seeing this, then it worked out well enough. This one might run around and revive some duelist bones on the floor. But for right now, I just want to see if the enemy will just run up and get themselves killed. That is the whole point of me comboing those two spells there. They both make difficult terrain, and I don't think it's going to make it extra difficult terrain. Meaning that one is just as good as the other. It's just in this case, they both do damage. That one has problems leaving his platform. I didn't realize that my Call of the Week would affect enemies walking in his concentrated spell, Black Tentacles. On my first attempt at this, I went in and just fireballed them and did lots of fighting. It took a while. My second attempt, I cast Ice Storm in that hallway and just let them all slip while I took shots at them, and that also took a while. If I make the enemy take the turn to kill themselves, will that be faster? Now that guy can still revive people, and that's fine. When he gets closer, I'll probably attack him. Right now, he is at the far end of that group. Enable Agonizing Blast on that. Don't want to cast any other concentration spells just yet. We could lay down an Ice Storm, but I don't think it'll be... you know what? Let's go ahead. It should be fine. I don't think it's going to make the floor icy, though, because we have Black Tentacles already on it. That's just a nice damage spell we can do while we're concentrating. That's going to be a concentration right there. I don't think there's anything that jumps out at me as non-concentration. Can we reach interrupted. Give his hand or anything? Yeah. Nice. Nice job, Will. Oh, that's still a zombie there? I thought my Eldritch Blast had actually killed him. Alright, I'd say that this was actually not that slow compared to the number of zombies we ended up killing. There's not really much loot on these guys, so we'll just keep moving.
Whatever experiments Balthazar performed here, I fear he made more than thralls and ghouls.
Have to keep going.
We'll finish checking out this room in a minute, because there's one more area I'd like to loot before interacting with some objects here. This is the laboratory. This will lead us to an adjoining room. Here's the butcher's area.
Oh,
Fresh recruits for Ketheric's army.
stench!
To a
I
necromancer,
wonder how many
the Morgue
pilgrimages
is
to
a muster
Moonrise
yard.
ended down here.
It's us!
Friend, you found the helm!
I did.
We remember you well. You saved us once. Perhaps you can do it again? They are not kind to us here. We are different, they say, aberrant. They wish to repurpose us, destroy what they cannot fix. Please, help us escape harm.
I'll free you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you! You are a good friend. No. More. Rescuer!
No will sparks behind his eyes. His mind has been hollowed out to better echo the commands of the collective.
A cake thrall. The only way to save it is to kill it.
You could kill it, end its miserable life of enslavement. Surely that would be the humane thing to do. Or you could take advantage of its vulnerability and plunder what's left of its hollow mind for anything that could serve you.
As far as I know, entering his thoughts, he has no thoughts, and it doesn't actually give you anything to serve you. But it does consume your illithid power for the day, and we're not going to pick that.
What is this place?
Nursery. Here, they become
Become what?
part of one mind. 4 little feet dancing to same song.
With a lurch, you realize he means the intellect devourers. Here, the brains are harvested, made part of the hive mind.
But there is one little kitty dances to another song. Same song as you.
What did you do to all these people?
Chop, chop. Help them become.
I need to find your master, Ketheric.
Master. No. Down deep. 1 of 3. 1 of 3.
Dude already knows more than me do.
Why don't I send you to join all these creatures you butchered?
Yes. Yes. Please.
He would like to be put out of his misery. That doesn't mean that he's going to go down without a fight, but do understand that he's battling for control, essentially, which he doesn't have much left. There's not much left in him. We are going to go ahead and kill him. I'm not going to talk about any ethics or anything about that. We are just going to outright kill him. This is a neutral evil party. We kill most of the things that we run into that are not on our side. At the moment, I'm waiting for these guys to stop looking in our direction, but I guess it's not necessary. We're just going to start battle right away.
More. Never think. Always chop, chop,
Start with Tran. Maybe we'll luck out and critical hit him. On our rehearsal for this, Tran immediately killed him with 2 critical hits.
This lack of blood again.
That was close.
Your violence hasn't gone unnoticed. It's about to be returned in kind.
living meat. Not for long. Time for chop.
Right, why do you not get to move anymore?
Death. Free at last. No more chop. Chop. Chop.
Who's left? Oh, there's one right here. Asteria, and you can take care of that one. Find a key. Raw steak. And a toy block. We're going to take the toy block in memory of Chop Chop.
An offering from Moonrise Towers.
This guy has lots of questions you could ask, but I'll try to pick the ones that give us the best information. I believe this to be some sort of priest who led kids down here to die.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
What happened to you?
Altar. Rooftop. My reward.
What was this reward?
To see her design. To see her.
Your reward for what?
I brought converts, young souls, for the Absolute.
What were your final thoughts?
Mother would be proud.
You saw the Absolute. Tell me what she looked like.
She was. It was wrong. No!
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
There's a couple of notes in this room, mostly related to escorting kids here. There is one book for whatever reason, and you can't pick it up. You can't look at it right now unless you were use Alt and click on it.
Prepare the march. My chosen gather below.
But there's realistically, there's actually nothing on it. I don't know why they even bother putting this here. I'll go and show you. If you were to able to still get to the note, it says this book has all but crumbled to dust, making it impossible to read. Thanks, game. Letter to the Absolute. Dear Absolute, teacher says to write. He says it is like a prayer. We can see your tower now. I hope it is bright and smells nice like Mother's temple. Teacher says she will follow us soon. Please send teacher better dreams. He is grumpy, and when he is tired, he bounces the cart around a lot. We promise to all be quiet and good so he can sleep. List of rules for the kids. Ride in teacher's cart away from the soldiers. Don't look the guide in the eye. Stay in the light, stay in the light, stay in the light. It's because the whole Moonrise Tower Shadowfell stuff. If you're interested in playing dress up with your characters, which I am, there's different kinds of helmets here that you should go ahead and grab, and as well as different kinds of gloves. In fact, Minthara's gloves are slightly different gloves. They tend to be just the gloves themselves, like you're a motorcyclist, rather than full-on armor gloves. It has the exact same name and the exact same T command when you look at it as other gloves of that nature. I can't go back to camp right now because of this, but know that if you are interested in dress up, Jaheira's starting gloves are actually different. Well, there are different kinds of gloves here as well, such as ones with bones, and of course all the other helmets. Right now we're just going to actually take the Butchered Mine and move on.
We are free! Thank you, friend. But perils remain, near and far. Better to stay together. You and us, we will remain with you. Call us, and we will be at your side.
And then we got a new item that allows us to summon us. I suppose I could pass this around to other characters and summon us. Conjure us to fight by your side. We'll go and summon him once. And he has an incredible 55 hit points. Compared to normal summons, like if I were to summon Scratch, Scratch has like 7 hit points, so it just gets slaughtered outright. I think it's okay. I think they return back to base and you can resummon them after you've rested. But yeah, we now have us again. This is the first friend we made in the game. I didn't know we'd find him again, and I'm assuming that if you had actually immobilized him or crippled him, maybe he wouldn't be here. I don't know. Oh, and he can be summoned at the same time as Scratch, your dog, but Scratch cannot be summoned at the same time as Shovel, the Quasit. Alright, so we've hit every room in the area. Now let's go back to this room. We're going to take a right here. This will lead us to the big zombie room. The bodies are popping in so they can fall to the floor. Yeah, that's a lot of corpses. The reason why I wanted to hit that other one first is I wanted this other mine. We have Butcher's Mine, Slave Mine, Dark Mine, Closed Mine. I'm guessing Dark Mine and Slave Mine were probably from... Am I missing some? 4, 5... I think I'm missing some. Hold on 1 second. I think I know where it might be. I should have 8. There's 3 in that room. I have 4 right now, which means I'm missing the 1. I believe it's in here. Yeah, it's right here. So this is the further down chamber, the elevator or whatnot.
Descend. Prepare. Liberate.
These 2 are from the tutorial ship. We're actually going to move everything to make it easy for us to tell which ones we've completed. The way that's going to work is if it's been moved up here, that means we've talked to the mine. It'll make more sense as we begin talking to them. We'll take this fresh mind, and we'll head back to join everybody. So let's send this back to camp. Send these back to camp.
And
Time to press ahead.
There's some reconstituted duelist that the Death Shepherd could have revived, but he chose not to. I've only gotten him to revive one of them when I was trying to maximize gains from this battle. There are two side areas to this necrotic laboratory. We have here a gateway, and here the lab itself. We're gonna go ahead and tell us to just hang back, because he has trouble jumping up here. He has a strength of 6, so you would have to cast Enhanced Leap if you want him to jump from here back up. Tran's already returned to our party. This is an interesting puzzle. I'm more interested in the interface than I am in the puzzle itself.
As the console bursts into life, a mind touches your own. Alien and full of desperate need, but fragmented too. It is incomplete. It yearns to connect, but needs you to guide the process, linking each part of your mind to its like.
Begin to manipulate the mind. So what interests me about this puzzle is this is fully within the game's interface and such. It's a very limited engine, such as there's no real-time combat and stuff. I am actually impressed that they managed to do something like this within the engine. Normally when you're trying to pick things up, say from a table, your character is running back and forth just around the table to pick it up from an exact spot. Similar to how when we try to descend the stairs in Moonrise Towers, our character always runs to the right of the stairs. To complete this puzzle, you need to start from one of the areas, such as emotion or reason or speech or memory, and then get to the other side of the exact same. So this was reason. We'll go ahead and start off by going to emotion. Since this one has a one-way path, it kind of makes an easier start. Then we need to make our way over to the emotion here. So we need to see which one of these are emotion. It's right here. So what we need to do is we need to reach that one. We're going to go ahead and try going to the left. I don't know if there's like an exact, or I don't know how many variations we can do to complete this puzzle. We'll go to the left to stay out of everybody else's way, and then we're at emotion. That's one complete. You know what? That my character didn't have to run around anywhere to do this. So this is totally within the confines of the game. This is one of the reasons why I never got like Fallout 4 or Skyrim, which is a very popular game, and Starfield, which is a less popular game. I never got those games because we've seen that game before, and we've seen that engine. No joke. So, like, if you pick up something from a table, everything else suddenly starts floating on that table. That's why this impresses me. It's because it's within the engine we've played hundreds of hours up to this point, and we're able to do something like this. We are currently on speech, and I think speech is on the other side. Yeah, we need to actually cross lanes. And then... Go with memory next.
Welcome.
Memory's on the other side. We'll just start moving forward.
Well, welcome back, Master.
And it is a little funky that if you start clicking on reason over here and start working your way back, it does kind of connect, but it is a little funky. So this is the most reliable way to give you a comprehensive view of how I'm doing it, rather than trying to mix things up and make you confused. So now we're going to combine this reason, I believe it was, with this reason in the distance on the top. Complete. Easy peasy.
That should do it. Time to see what's back there. Don't waste a step.
That should do it. Time to see what's back there. If you're pressing Alt, this skeleton does not show up, but you absolutely want to search this skeleton. There's so many skeletons throughout this place, and they're not going to have any loot.
Hurry now. The city calls out for salvation.
This one has loot. Circlet of mental anguish. When an enemy...
Chosen are my heart, and you my many hands.
Okay, thank you. When an enemy fails a charisma, intelligence, or wisdom saving throw against one of your spells or cantrips, you can regain 1 to 4 hit points. Okay, and I'll pocket all of these and think of ways to combine them later. Brain Drain Gloves. When you deal psychic damage, you also inflict mental fatigue for 2 turns. We might put this on Lae'zel.
Of many hearts.
On the upcoming boss battle, she's not really going to be surrounded by 2 or more foes, so we could put that on her. And then enemies that take her psychic damage from her sword Could be mental fatigue. We're going to just put that on now, just for the heck of it. Here's another mind. Fill up these gaps. These are the 4 we got here, 2 from the tutorial. Blade of Oppressed Souls.
Prepare them.
This one does have psychic damage on its own, as well as Crowning Strike. The acid is just from his blade, which has been Draconic Enchanted. That basically just adds 1d4 elemental damage, so that's not actually part of this attack, Crowning Strike. But anyways, Crowning Strike will give me 1d6 plus 9 piercing and plus 4 psychic, as well as Crown of Madness. Was slapped out on Lae'zel, and she hasn't really done so, but she's had her weapons stashed here, and theoretically, if I wanted to, say I was actually to stretch out a party of 4 without doing resting, we could switch between weapons and then attack with the special ability of that weapon, and then we keep moving. Oh, you moved down here after all? Alright. Jaheira. She'll cast Enhanced Sleep on you, so you can get out of here. I guess it's just as well I show you, because you will probably also have us, if you're playing along, and you'll have us stuck. So that being said, by this point you should already understand you should have Enhanced Sleep as just somewhere in your spellbook. Actually, we're going to go ahead and back everybody up, and we'll have Tran move in alone. This will save us from getting more disapproval from our companions. Companions that are okay with this are Asterion and Minthara.
Baldur's Gate will know my design.
Get Will away from the edge here. Minthara, hop on down. Because we're going to do kind of a evil action here, and these two will like it, everybody else will dislike it. These slates don't give us any new information. Final Mournful Entry, Elder Starving. Flash of Nautiloids. Eye Patch. Okay, the game kind of makes your character audibly wonder, oh, I wonder who this belongs to. And then, of course, the quest appears telling you exactly who it belongs to. And your character wouldn't know, your player would, but this is kind of a discrepancy between the two storytelling techniques that they shouldn't use both.
An eye patch. Wonder who it belongs to. Or belonged to. Yeah,
I wonder. Prayer of Forgiveness. I'm gonna let you pause if you would like to. Balthazar's Notes. Again, I'll let you pause if you'd like to. Just know that people are unhappy and whatever, blah blah, stuff about this. We have 2 more minds. Now we have the full 8. You don't actually need all 8. In fact, only one of them actually gives you any benefit. Okay, let's go and start. We'll start with the ones for the tutorial. These are the ones most likely to have not made it with the player to this point.
A splendid divine.
My darling Carolina, how I'd love to wine and dine ya, but you chose my foolish brother over me. And when you two are wed, well, my heart will be but dead. For my sister you will sadly surely be. But my brother, he's a loser, and I take you for a chooser. So perhaps one day you'll leave him high and dry. And if you choose another, what's more loving than a brother? Yes, a stand-up, homely, gentle sort of guy.
This is the mouthpiece for all of the mines we've been collecting. I forgot that Minthara is going to make a comment every time we put a head in.
You need my expertise.
And it's always going to be this comment. And she only starts speaking when you're about to talk. Splendid device. All the benefits of a cleric. No gods required. So we will actually just go ahead and do the thing that gets Minthara her approval at this point. We'll wait on this other tutorial one. So the one we need is, I think it's the... Is it the Waking Mind? It was the Willing Mind. Alright, we'll go ahead and try. Unfortunately, I've forgotten which one I grabbed. Actually, no, we can tell from here. When we get the Mind of the... Yeah, it's the Waking Mind, and so that's not this one. Waking Mind, where are you at? Here it is. This way we'll put Minthara to the side and she won't keep saying, "Oh, splendid device." So she says it now. No, only when I start to talk to the head.
A splendid
See?
Fine bones, sharp jaw. Some variety of elf? Pretty enough for a flesh prison, if not the noble Githzerai features I was born with.
The monk-like Githzerai, sibling race to the warrior Githyanki. Their contempt for one another is eclipsed only by their shared hatred of the Illithids.
I'd guess you're no willing guest of the Gate either. Perhaps we might aid one another.
If you failed that history check, which is darn likely, it's like a DC 18. You don't get this specific one. You get something about asking them. They eventually fess up with who they are. Lae'zel does not have any special dialogue about this head.
How did you end up in that vault? Githzerai are supposed to be the ultimate warriors.
Warriors of the mind. Oh, there's some physical prowess involved, but the battlefield on which we truly fight the Gate is their own. My order taught a psionic technique much feared by the Gate. They destroyed us for it, and kept me as a trophy. I never broke, but I've spent all these centuries awake, aware. So here is my offer. Use your tadpole, erase me, and I will pass my technique on to you.
You feel the oncoming void tug at the back of your mind and the edge of your soul. Your patron bids you caution before agreeing to this pact. The monk isn't telling you everything.
If you pick number 1, you get an extra option besides just erasing the mind, and that's the one we'll pick. But the end result is completely the same other than approval.
If you want my help, then tell me the truth.
All right, The Gate did not find my monastery. I led them there. They promised me immortality, and they gave it. I have been their rotting trophy for centuries.
As her agitation swells, so does her latent psionic power. To your tadpole, that guilt and terror are almost fragrant. You realize the Illithids locked her away not as a trophy, but as a fine vintage.
Please, touch my mind and purge it. The moment you do, my knowledge will be yours.
Reach out and consume her mind.
Thank you. Oh, wait. No. No! Please!
You get Githzerai Mindbearer. You get the same thing if you erase her mind, and I believe this goes away if you die. So it's not anything super powerful. Having assimilated a splinter of Githzerai knowledge, mental barriers have been erected in the affected entity's mind. It has advantage on intelligence saving throws. I'm going to put the next mine in. And you can also just grab the mine individually and it'll pop back in your inventory, but this does save you a step just dropping it in, and it immediately pops the old one back in. This is the second tutorial item. Let's go and get Minthara out of here so she stops telling me about this marvel, this splendid device, all the benefits of the cleric.
Well, good feelings never last, I suppose.
She's commenting about good feelings because there's a resonance stone that adds the following condition. Steeped in bliss, seized by great joy, affected entity is more energized and also more mentally compliant. Entity has advantage on physical checks and disadvantage on mental saving throws. Entity is also vulnerable to psychic damage. It's a little aura thing. In fact, we'll just hand this over to Lae'zel. So now she's walking around giving extra physical psychic damage to anybody around her, but she also takes additional psychic damage. Alright, now we'll continue. We'll converse with the Dark Mind.
My chosen.
They're in my head. They're in my head. They're in yours too. It won't be long now until we're changed. Am I dead?
I don't want to die, but I don't want to live. Not like this.
Those are the two tutorial ones. Now we'll just start slapping down ones. This is True Mind. I believe this was in this room.
Every day he comes. Every day for 3 days to ask me how I feel. I want to tell, but I am confused. Which day is it?
Who is this he you're talking about?
We are his pets. His plan. Lord Gortash.
It is the first day.
The first, yes. 5 days since he put that thing in my eye, but the first day he came to visit. He says I am the last, that the other subjects have all changed.
It's the second day.
Eye hurts, head hurts, but he says I'm past the worst of it, that I won't change like the others. He's given me a place of honor, so he can repeat his miracle and a name. True Soul.
It's the third day.
She whispers in my mind. She sings, praise the Absolute.
Tell me about these others.
Separate cells. I never saw them, but when they changed...
My head! I can feel them in my head!
That was True Mind, even though it says Dark Mind. Do Closed Mind next.
They won't be laughing much longer. Won't be any more of this. No gnomes in the city, watch, Brevin. This Gortash fella's got an idea. Kind of a training camp. Don't know how it gets me into the watch, but he seems the smart sort.
Butchered Mind. This is from inside the Chop Chop room.
Shh. This place listens. It knows. If we're going to escape, we have to be smart.
I think your escape plan might be coming a little late.
Late? No, mate. I was watching. Learning. This place is alive. A big thinking thing. And it needs our flesh to grow. I've seen them put corpses in the walls and they just melt away. So we've got to trick it, see? Make it think we're part of it. That's why the door's only open for... Wait. How did you get in here?
Away, slave! They might have taken your mind, but they won't have mine!
Fresh Mind. This was near the healing pod.
My head hurts. Can I go back to bed, Mummy?
I am very much not your mother.
Funny, Mummy.
We saw a big spiky snail that fell out of the sky.
I'm just very sleepy, Mummy. I wish you'd stop waking me up so much.
I, meanwhile, am never going to sleep again.
You should. We can talk in the morning. Night, night, Mummy. Love you.
Pardon? Wouldn't do to phlegm all over Lord Gortash during my first performance, would it?
Acoustics are a little off in here. Which is... where, exactly?
An elephant colony, but don't worry. Just your brain is here.
Right. A jester, are you? Ah, you must be vying for the Lord's patronage too. He heard me singing in Beggar's Rest. Said he needed someone to give voice to lost knowledge. A little over my head, being honest, but the Lord has gold. I trust he knows his business. Now, I'd best warm up.
Go ahead. I'm sure you'll be performing soon.
I have just the thing prepared. My ma used to sing it when I'd come crying about monsters. Oh, wish me luck.
Well, let's hear it.
The owl bear bore, owl wills icy ire.
Not impressed. I think you're better off here. Chuck all these into the large cookpot next to it. And let's head on out. We have accomplished everything to do inside this colony. This is the wrong way, but that's fine. We just need to make it to the main hallway. We are now in this is the southwestern room. If the necrotic lab is the southeastern room, we actually need to be in the eastern chamber. Although everything inside looks the same, if you just think of it as a giant wheel or circle, it's actually not that bad. There's the northwestern room, which has the Zevlor in it. There's the southeastern room that we just left. Over here is the eastern chamber. We can just find a place to click on. Again, clicking on this restoration pod locks up this first few squares. I don't know why it does that. In fact, I'll go ahead and do it now. And again, it may be part of my mods, but I'm letting you know that it bugs it out for me. That's fine. We'll go ahead and make a save, and I'll go ahead and bug that out. I need to run the next cutscene a couple times anyways, just to make sure you get the smoothest performance possible. Alright, so we'll go ahead and take a restoration, and we'll see if it replicates the bug. Yeah. You notice when I drag this over to up here, it vaporizes. Ready? I'm going to let go on the top left square, and it's gone. It's not there anymore. Anything I drag up there gets eaten. I cannot explain it, but I can tell you that I no longer have access to that tile. Alright, well, it was just Jahara.
Is anyone else's tadpole squirming around a lot more than usual?
Something's roused them. Something significant.
No longer a background murmur. The presence in your mind builds to a roar.
We've found it. The Absolute is behind this door.